and welcome to another reaction. My name is WWDadman. You already know that, and this is a little extra video that I decided to record. This is the search for the best anime opening. Sounded like an interesting title. The entire video is like an hour long, so let's get into this and see what they came up with. As per usual, link to the original video is in the description down below. And just like this video falls under fair use, this one does as well, seeing as reaction content is fair use. Either way, let's go. Okay, openings after February 1st, 2024 are not on that list. Good. Speaking of, by the way, Kuma is probably going to upload a ranking of sub-voted ranking of the favorite openings of the subscribers of his channel pretty soon. So we're going to definitely react to that as well when that comes out. But yeah, for now we'll have this.
Since the dawn of time, ancient anime fans have always had a deep love and
nice Naruto band
for the art of comparison. When they weren't biding their time hugging their Hatsune.
Instead of fucking Miku Takimakura made from rock. That's hilarious.
Mica body pillows, they were chiseling tier lists into the cave walls.
Tier lists into the cave. Oh, dude, this guy is awesome. Look at the fucking Miku and the tier list. Cave painting, awesome.
And heated discussions over the campfire about who is best girl, Plesiosaurus or Diplodocus. And we all know the
well, they wouldn't know because those didn't live at the same time as humans, but hey.
answer to that question. But perhaps the greatest comparison in all of animedom, the holy grail of the primeval nerd, is that most evergreen of lists. The top anime openings.
Yeah, I've got one of those up as the 500 sub special as well, so if you haven't checked out my personal favorite openings top 100 list, go check that out afterwards.
Of all time. But like climbing the peak of a daunting mountain, it rarely stays that way in practice. Many begin the task only to realize, wait, have I watched 100 anime?
Yes, easily.
50? Do I honestly have strong
literally I've got like 200 something that I've watched.
enough opinions about over 100 shows to bother making this list in the first place?
Plus there is definitely more than one opening from the same show on that list for me, so yeah, that's making it a lot easier.
The smart ones pivot, changing the title to My Favorite Anime Openings. A much more attainable endeavor than claiming to know the objective best of the best.
Yeah, well, nobody claims that their top list is the definitive top list. Like, come on. Nobody is that self-centered.
Yet still, some go mad. The absolute hubris.
800! Motherfucker, cut that down a bit, maybe.
Well, worry not, anime fans,
Mercy.
new and old, for the wait.
If you want to see a reaction to that one, by the way, Mercy's got some great videos, so I totally do that.
Is over. After a grueling 16 months of intense research, culling, watching, and waiting for websites to just load already, we have done it. We have figured out the objective, inarguable Nintendo Power official seal of approval best anime openings of all time list. Courtesy
Have you?
Of some guy and his hot girlfriend. The first stage was gathering information. While Hot Girlfriend had watched many an anime in her time, and some guy had seen at least 2 probably, they had not yet seen enough. They needed to widen their research. And what better way to start than by excavating the tombs of those poor souls who had fallen in pursuit of the same noble task? We watched every top 100 list we could find, taking extensive
holy
notes
shit.
on any shows we'd never seen that looked interesting.
Go Loser Ranger.
Find and watch their openings in full on very legal websites.
On absolutely legal websites like animethemes.moe.
We even watched that top 800 list because we, like the person who made it,
Yeah.
are insane. After perusing so many individual lists, patterns became apparent. There were some openings that always made it.
Yep. Kuren Hey Kids, Gorenge, No Game No Life's opening. Yeah.
Others that never did. And if someone has any Fate openings on their list, you can pretty much guarantee that they're going to put Brave Shine as their number one.
It is probably the best Fate opening, honestly.
One of the most common favorites we were
I haven't seen frickin' Unlimited Blade Work though, so that wouldn't be on my list ever.
always waiting for was the first opening of Code Geass, Colors by Flow. The opening begins with an enthusiastic Jibun Wo. And whenever we
Yep, know the song, but I definitely haven't got it on my list because I haven't watched Code Geass.
see it, we too would shout Jibun Wo. So excited were we at the chance to see our favorite ugly triangular guy on a horse that he does not actually ride anywhere in the show.
That is actually a pretty interesting trope about anime openings in general. The scenes that are just completely freaking opening exclusive that never happen in the show.
Soon enough, while comparing openings on other people's lists, we would say, is it good? Is it Jibun Wo? Is it better than Jibun Wo? And eventually, Jibun Wo became our shorthand for quality. And the
Really?
eternal question when reviewing new openings was, is this opening Jibun Wo? So began our quest to sep the wheat from the
Hi, Holo.
chaff, to find
Maybe put on some clothes.
out which openings were Jibun Wo and which were Jibun Wow! Dug deep into the anime mind, scanning each rock and hyperlink for overlooked gems.
Really nice visualization using the Made in Abyss for that.
If a series had more than one opening, we would watch all of them,
Of course.
just to be safe.
Oh, hey, cool.
Sometimes even in multiple languages if they were different enough.
Yeah, like for Pokemon, they're literally different between the Japanese and the international openings for every single one of the frickin' openings.
Have you ever sat down
Have you ever sat down and listened to all of the openings for Detective Conan? That's 53 by now, by the way.
to watch all 60-something
60? Oh wait, no, endings were 53 because they didn't change those as much. I think. That definitely a fucking shit ton.
Detective Conan openings with your local Conan
Oh, including the spin-offs, it's 60 something. Yeah, good.
expert, just in case there was anything cool happening in them, only to find not a single opening was good enough to bother with.
Dude. 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 I mean, that's me with Gintama, but dude. Like, the whole going through all of those openings to just find out that none of them are good enough to bother with. But dude. Detective Conan has a bunch of fucking bangers on there.
I have done that.
What? But some of the openings have pretty good songs.
Ah, but that's just it, isn't it? This isn't a list ranking the songs. This is a list about the greatest openings of all time. And the opening is so much more than just its song. An opening is its visuals, its themes, its editing, its animation, the timing, the pace, the feelings it evokes.
Hence, some of the frickin' ones that are on my list on the lower end.
The credits. Everyone thinks you can just get rid of the credits. You can't. They're part of the opening.
Yep, they are, and if you have watched the frickin' openings for Dr. Stone, you'd know that they're doing an incredibly great job with the frickin' credits, like, fitting with the themes of the show. Like, the way they, like, incorporate, like, chemical structures in the frickin' credits coming in, that is something I seriously cannot frickin' understand why anybody would want to see an opening without credits. However, a lot of the time, the ones that are available are creditless. So, yeah, it's really not that easy to get a hold of the normal credited ones, apparently. It's weird.
You have no idea how many great openings are ruined by terrible credits.
Oh. Really? You have no idea how many great openings are made even greater by the great incorporation of the credits. I mean, this is pretty much just an overlay that like you can still see everything going on. What is your problem?
I am losing my mind.
Get those Japanese words off of me.
In the end, we watched literally thousands of submissions, culling the list further and further until finally,
Whatever.
only the top 100
Mob Psycho 100?
remained. You may ask, what criteria can you judge 1,500 openings by? Well, dear student, you can remember our grading scale with this simple acronym. The Mercature. The V stands for visuals. But these are not limited to just the cool anime fight scenes. Oh, no, no. Does the editing flow from shot to shot? Is the animation stylized in an interesting way?
Or is it stylized in an absolutely fucking awful looking way that makes me wanna puke?
Based on the visual storytelling alone, what do I know about these characters? Does the opening show me their personality and their dynamics with one another, or does it show me flat JPEGs that tell
Yes! A lot of time, yes!
me nothing? Does the opening sell me on the show's identity? Can I tell what this series is about from the opening alone? And do I want to?
Wow. I mean, it's pretty like well known, but still, dude, spoiler.
Watch it. The music.
Ah, Angel Beats, absolutely great opening.
Is obviously important as well. But whether a song is good or not is ultimately subjective. We focused on how the music sells the mood of a show, and how its pacing contributes to the animation and the opening's energy. Does it stand out in your brain after you finish listening to it? If I play Guess That Anime OP quizzes every week for a year, and I haven't been able to recognize Charlotte's opening once
Yep, that's me with a lot of freaking very popular ones, where I just don't fucking like they just don't fucking stick. Weirdly enough, 86 is one of the shows that just don't stick with me for some reason. Because I mean, it's not like the music is bad. It's not like the show is fucking amazing, but apparently it just doesn't fucking stick with the music. So I never recognize the freaking music unless it's a multiple choice quiz. The quizzes are all on the main channel, by the way, link in the description.
Despite it popping up all the time, doesn't that kind of make it a bad opening? And of course we asked
Ohio Sekai, good morning world.
Does this song
Hey yo! Hello interspecies reviewers. Guten Lagen.
Credits. Okay, this is the one to pay attention to. In fact, this is the big element that most other lists don't seem to consider at all. It's common to see creditless versions of openings on YouTube, even from official uploads.
Yes.
Because those versions show off the animation underneath, which is what most people care about. But here's the thing. Credits are a part.
That's incredibly well done, for instance. Like, same thing as with the Dr. Stone opening.
Of the opening. And if your opening doesn't consider the credits, or worse, if it looks better when the credits aren't there, that is bad. Imagine if your opening was better when the song wasn't there.
Oh, good one. Yeah, actually, I did for my list personally. I didn't take the credits that much into consideration because I can personally just frickin' tune out the frickin' credits on screen if they are on screen while watching the show. So, but they've got a point.
That would be bad. Do the credits move on their own? Are they
that's a great way of doing credits.
stylized in a way that synergizes
That's
with their
good.
story? How do they exit and enter every single shot?
Jojo, yeah, also doing a good work.
Are they in an interesting font or even a fantasy language? Or are they just white, bold box text slapped on at the last second because nobody cared? English versions do this a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best.
Redoing all of those in English is apparently sometimes a little bit too much effort for the localization teams.
Openings find ways to integrate the credits into the animation in such a way that they cannot be removed,
Yes!
putting them in the same physical space as the characters. Other openings have such bad credits that it actively knocks them several spots down on the list or even off of it entirely. If an opening that you really like isn't on here, there's a pretty good chance it's because the credits are either boring or actively fight against the opening's own animation.
Okay.
Theming.
I can absolutely freaking understand that.
This goes hand in hand with the visuals and music, but it's important enough to be considered its own category. The quickest way to describe theming is, could you do a book report on this opening? Is there hidden depth to the visuals?
Does it fit the anime, basically?
After you watch the show, do certain things take on additional meaning? Does the opening change over time? Is this apple secretly a death note?
The apple is a freaking great element in the opening for Death Note, by the way. Did you know that gods of death like apples?
Oh my, it is. And then, last but not least, there is that special something. The vibes, the secret spice, the little pinch of artistry that pushes the opening over the top. That je ne sais quoi, otherwise known as the Jennies.
What?
Things that make you go, oh, that's so cool.
Stop talking frickin' French to me and use words that somebody outside of France would actually understand. Thank you.
The characters are playing their own theme song as an in-universe audition, and they reanimate the entire opening for it. When the guitar wail in Wolf's Rain sounds like an actual wolf howling at the moon. Or this bit in Black Clover's
That's
10th
good.
opening where the little elf man yodels at the same time as the singer. So I guess this has to be number one. List over.
What?
Now we could talk about the specific examples of Vermutkature in every shot and every frame of all 100 openings. And we did, but not here. Or if you don't care, you can just start watching the list at this timestamp. But you do care,
Yeah.
because you're smart. You're here to
By the way, that just skipped the frickin' self-advertising of the Patreon.
learn. And you know that if you skip the qualifying factors, this list won't make any sense.
Yep. I generally don't like skipping to like the part I came for on stuff that explains stuff first.
Visuals. There are a million ways to create good visual flow, and a video covering that subject could easily be several hundred hours long. To simplify a very, very big topic, one of the best ways to make your opening look nice is to create bridges between various shots. A bridge
Doing the same thing in the editing of that video, I see.
can be anything that links one shot to the next, either literally or thematically. This creates a harmony between the shots, and makes it easy for your eyeballs and brain to accept the series of images as one ongoing thing. Having the same character or object in both shots, having the same motion, having the same shapes or colors. For instance, in Kageki Shoujo, a very good show that you should watch, the main character is brushing her teeth, and the brush moves left and right every 2 frames. Then, in the next shot, she's scrubbing the floor in the exact same direction at the exact same rate, 2 frames each way. This similarity creates a visual bridge and tricks you into feeling like a cut didn't happen at all. These connections can also be more abstract, like thematic connections or image association. Here, in the best One Piece opening, the shots transition in a variety of clever ways. In this section, they use image association to cut through several story beats very quickly. Black birds, white birds, big white bird wing, falling pages moving like wings, and then falling books. And this bit is extra smooth if you know that those white birds carry the newspapers in the One Piece universe.
Yep.
And that this sequence depicts an escape scene with the following shot hiding the fugitives who just escaped.
Yep.
Wow, that's a lot of information to pack into just a few seconds of visuals. Bad visuals. If there are a million ways...
Bad visuals. Character continuously running into oblivion on some sort of background from right to left without actually moving forward, because that's like the most frickin' overused fucking shot in an opening scene that I've ever seen. But hey, yeah.
ways to make your visuals look good, then there are a billion ways to make them look awful. The color palette can be ugly and oversaturated with jittery compositing that moves too fast and hurts your eye to look at. The timing might be off, with characters moving at awkward speeds because the animation director didn't correct errors early enough. Or maybe the studio thought they could get away with badly tracking this PlayStation asset behind Kirito instead of drawing a background, even though this is Sword Art Online and it made like $8 trillion. The camera might fly in random directions, so each shot is dizzying and feels like it's fighting against the next with no smooth connections between.
That is a pretty bad example for a bad visual, though, because that is as fluid as it gets. Like the animation on frickin' the opening for Shikimori-san is fucking amazing.
Any of them. And let's not forget this thing, which looks like the intro to a visual novel on the PSP, made on a budget of the lint I just found in my pocket.
Yeah.
That's not very Jibunwo. Not very Jibunwo at all. There are also openings that failed our visual check for less obvious reasons. For instance, having an amazing song, groovin' even, but then the entire opening is just made of shots pulled from the show. That's not an opening. That's an AMV.
Yep.
And then there are many examples of what we have termed JPEG openings, where shows with a large cast...
Hey! See! Exactly what I fucking said before!
Try to show off said cast as a series of identical static images. These are JPEGs. They tell me nothing. They're not posed in interesting ways, the characters aren't interacting, so I don't know what their dynamics are. I could get the same information from scrolling the image gallery on a fandom wiki. The saddest thing to see is an opening that's mostly quite good, but then there's a random gap of 20 seconds where literally nothing happens, not even credits. Oops! You know, animation studios, there's no law saying your opening has to be 90 seconds long. It's okay if you only have 60 seconds of ideas, or even 30 seconds. No one will hurt you. Good music. As someone who likes listening to Au Revoir by the Front Bottoms, a band whose vocalist sounds as though he is singing from his bottom,
You probably don't even know what that means.
I am not legally allowed to say what good music is or isn't. Instead, I will just present a few openings that did not make the list, but their song notably fucks. There are many, many, many openings with great songs. Here are just a few honorable mentions.
I've never heard of that. I mean, man, on that one? Yep, yep. Cold Rain's amazing. We all agree that Cold Rain is amazing. So are a lot of things by Burnout Syndromes. That's a great song. Dang. Never heard of the show though. Freaking Beyblade. That's another one, by the way, of the really fucking huge franchises in terms of amount of anime there is for it. That I'm surprised hasn't been freaking at all mentioned in the comments yet. Because personally, I only watched the dub of the first season or something like that. Back in the day when it was on frickin' TV. There wasn't really anything special about that one, just saying. I think they ranked that under bad visuals because it's all over the place. I like it. Visually as well. Weed? Okay. There was a Bomberman anime?
That's right. Bomberman Jedders, my freak pick for favorite anime of all time, is not on here. That's how you know this list is serious. It is number 105, though.
Well, bad music. Yeah, there is a lot of that as well.
When we say bad music, you probably think we mean something that sounds unpleasant.
Yes.
And there are plenty of songs with vocals that I personally think sound grating. But just
Yeah, that's not one of my favorites either.
because something's...
Okay, I mean, that's the second Death Note opening. That's freaking, what are they called? Forget the name every time. Cause that's like the amount of metal that's too metal. I'm really not into the whole growling garbage.
sounds rough or unpolished does not necessarily make it bad art. Not all art is meant to be comfortable. Art is meant to make you feel something, to convey...
Yeah, but in their case, it's not necessarily meant to make you feel like turning off the frickin' music.
emotion and story, to make you think. The Magical Destroyers opening is so evocative and f***ed up that we watched it like 30 times.
Hi? That definitely falls under bad visuals, because holy crap, I'm getting a seizure just looking at that. And the fucking music definitely falls under bad.
I would not listen to this recreationally if you put a gun to my head.
Same.
But we did think about it. A lot. So much so that we decided to give it an honorary number question mark slot, because we didn't know what to do with it. Sometimes artists can utilize a quote-unquote flaw in order to add style or thematic depth. Take Princess Tutu, for example. The singer's vocals are very close to the microphone. The sound is intimate, arguably bordering on amateurish. But it works. The opening's visuals evoke the set design of a stage play, and the intimacy of the singer actually works with that intent in mind. It feels like you're watching a tiny production from a dance troupe with a lot of heart, but not a lot of budget. So the song's unusual vocal quality actually adds to the piece. No, bad music is more complicated. When it comes to anime openings, bad music is most egregious not when it sounds like poo-poo, but when an opening song fails to harmonize with its own artistic intentions. For a very technical and literal example, take Suritama. Everyone likes a cute dance in their opening, but maybe not so much when half the movements are offbeat like you're failing a rhythm minigame.
Oh, too bad! Get out of here!
But even then, dissonance can be a purposeful artistic choice, like in Paranoia Agent. The opening song is odd and energized, constant. There is no drop, no build, no breathing room. Its bright tone deliberately clashes with the disasters on screen. But that's on purpose. The visuals are clashing in the same way. The disconnect between the danger and the characters laughing in the face of that danger is the point. It's fucking weird. It makes you go,
Yeah, it's fucking psychotic is what that is.
what the hell happens in Paranoia Agent? And that makes you want to watch Paranoia Agent.
Actually, in my case, I don't exactly want to watch that.
That's a good opening. That same feeling does not work in something like the original Legend of the Galactic Heroes. In this show, the song failing to build or change feels wrong.
Boring.
It feels like a mistake, like you're watching a slideshow and the presenter's button to move to the next slide is broken. This makes the openings feel awkward and actively boring.
Also, with those visuals, it's not gonna get any better. And those are horrible credits, actually, covering up the face of the fucking character.
And don't get me wrong, I like watching slow things, waiting for something interesting to happen. That's why I'm watching Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Worst of all, there are many, many openings with no musical identity whatsoever. I've run Name That Tune games in the past where I had to gather hundreds of notable openings so players could recognize them by the song alone. Given to me by my boyfriend, famous for watching anime no one's ever heard of.
Lorenzo Shiro!
What the? Hey, now I'm in last place because your boyfriend gave you a made-up anime song?
And let me tell you, there are a lot of openings that desperately want to sound like a Lisa song in a bid to emulate what's popular, and in doing so, sound like nothing. Which is a shame, because there's so many ways that you can sound like something. The haunting whispers of Shadow's House, the rapping crime jazz of Aka 13, the edgelord electronics
Yes!
of the Overlord openings. All of these are instantly recognizable. Even if they're
Overlord has such amazing fucking openings.
not to your taste, they have an identity. You hear it and you think, that is the Overlord OP. She is
Very crazy, very.
Meanwhile, there are 17,000 plucky J-pop openings that might as well be the exact same song.
Yeah.
What even is this? I feel like I've heard it before, but god damn it, it's the Charlotte opening again. I'm never gonna get
Yeah. I feel you.
this. Good credits. One major reason that creditless or clean openings are so common on YouTube is that versions without the credits are sometimes so different they can be uploaded without being detected by the automatic copyright takedown, while the versions with credits are more likely to be removed. A sort of
That's not even the credits, that's the lyrics, but hey.
anti-natural selection where YouTube kills off all the good uploads. This is also the reason why 60 frame per second versions of openings are often available, while the native 24 frame per second versions are not. Because the 60 FPS versions are ugly and disgusting, and ruin the animation so much that the copyright filters don't recognize them as the same thing. A good opening.
Yeah, if you're gonna frickin' have an AI create the frickin' frames in between that aren't there, obviously that's gonna look horrible.
Actually looks worse credits list because a smart design team will leave a lot of negative space to put the credits in. And without those credits, those shots feel awkward and empty.
Yep.
Look at the first Urusei Yatsura 2022 opening. This actually went up several slots on our list after we watched the credits version. This shot feels kind of unfinished until you put the credits on it. And the models on this roller coaster shot are honestly a little weak if you look at them for too long, but it's fine because the song credit is supposed to be covering them for most of that screen time. These credits are part of the opening. They cannot be removed. If you remove them, it's worse. Great openings will add effects onto the credits so they feel just as alive as the animation that's behind them.
I wonder if they're gonna mention the Dr. Stone opening.
And the best openings will have diegetic credits. These are credits that are literally inside of the world depicted in the animation. Diegetic credits are the strongest credits of all because including them requires the most planning and care of any type of typography.
Yep, because they're gonna be literally within the scene and non-removable.
Plus, characters are able to interact with them, and that's fun. Bad credits. Nothing disqualified more openings in this project than bad credit placement. But here are some of the most tragic examples. The first Fire Force opening has a fantastic song, an incredible battle animation that really sells you on the show.
Yes!
And then they slap big, bold, blocky white text on top of it.
Which literally doesn't fucking bother me at all in this case.
Smack
Because it's always to the side and not anywhere it does actually matter.
in the middle of the animation's line of action, ruining it. Here's a nice shot with tons of space on the left side of the screen for credits, but they didn't put any there. And here's another one, except this time they made the interesting choice to put credits on both sides of the screen, including on top of the character's face. Then those credits continue into the next shot for some reason. A smart designer would have used this as an opportunity to have two different sets of credits separated by the cut, so they could have removed some of the text from one of the 500 action shots they ruined. Let's pause and take a look at this. This right here is what our team has named the DSC. The Dreaded Song Credit.
Uh-huh.
These include the artist, song name, distributor, etc. It's a lot of information. And usually they're larger than the other text in the opening. This means that the Dreaded Song credit has more text on screen than any other single credit. And so it is the source of more ugly typographic blunders than anything else. Worst of all, the DSC is a song credit, so it usually shows up at the best part of the song. And the best part of the song usually has the best animation. So more often than not, the DSC will cover the most interesting part. Oops! Oh, there's also the credits for the opening animation when it's done by a separate team from the rest of the series, which can sometimes look real bad. Oh my god.
Yeah, but why don't you just make the entire screen white? Oh my god! That was horrible. That is really horrible credits.
Good theming. This is perhaps the hardest category to talk about in brief. At a surface level, it is obviously good. When an opening illustrates it shows tone and general story, so you know what it's about at a glance. That's just good advertising. Plus, it's extra fun when an opening tells a little story all its own. The more you understand about a show, the more you can appreciate its subtleties, like a fine wine. This joke is funnier if you've watched Bakano. It's fun to see
Yeah, it is, because I didn't get it because I only watched one episode of Bakano.
openings make allusion to the wider world of art and culture, like the Elfen Lied opening, which is just Gustav Klimt for some reason. Or how Death Note is just hilariously Christian and Light is literally Satan.
Yep, makes sense.
This is also theming. Evil theming.
Yeah,
It
and
is
incredibly good
difficult
theming
to
at that.
explain good examples of theming without spoiling aspects of the show. So I won't go into examples, but I bet you can think of at least one show whose opening made you go, oh, oh, after seeing it enough times or reading ahead in the manga. This is that. Bad theming.
Oops.
Sometimes an opening simply has nothing going on. It tells you nothing about its show or characters. It tells you nothing about its plot. The professor of a studio art class asked the director why they made the choices that they made when making the opening. They would go, A recent high-profile example is Delicious in Dungeon, a cool franchise with an opening almost as bad as its terrible English title. Let's examine this visual of the lead characters as giants. Does being a giant have anything to do with the themes of the series?
Nope.
No? Okay. Are the characters posed in a way or in a location that tells you something about them?
No.
No, not really. Shuro doesn't come from the snowy mountains. And here's Chilchuk, placed at the site of the series' final battle for some inexplicable reason. Oh, and this is a panning shot of all the girls going one way, and then all the boys, arranged by gender, and nothing else. Are these mirror images of characters who have mirrored arcs, or maybe pairs of characters, like the old man gnome would mirror the grandma gnome? No, it's just boys go here, girls go here. Cool opening. Did you make it in PowerPoint? This is a show about survival, ecosystems, food chain, sacrifice, desire, and cooking. But you wouldn't know that from watching this opening. And the only food in the opening shows up at the 85% mark in one shot. Unless you count the...
Although the frickin' show is literally called Dungeon Meshi. Literally about food.
Band name.
Bump of chicken. Ha 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 ha
They try
ha.
so hard, and the
Ha.
animation studios expect their songs to carry everything. Hashtag free bump of chicken 2025. The Jennies. There
Okay,
are no
now explain that.
good versus bad Jennies. You either got it or you don't. This is the X Factor. This is the category that praises that one time Gintama redid one of their openings in MS Paint and then actually broadcast it because this is the funniest thing ever. Or when Welcome to the Ballroom has the scary giraffe people show off their long necks to fight for dominance. Is this good visuals? I don't know, but it did make me laugh so hard I caught COVID from it. So it's certainly
I don't think that that's how COVID works, but hey.
something in italics. Even if the opening doesn't score particularly well in our other categories, something unspoken or particularly artful can make it worth talking about regardless. The Mushishi opening has almost no visuals whatsoever, but the mood of the song is so wistful and sleepy and somber that it just works. I never skip it. Maybe the opening plays with medium and goes beyond ordinary 2D animation. Or
Yeah.
maybe it conveys a particular emotion so well that you just can't help but feel happy when you watch it, or sad, or nostalgic. Even if you never watched the show in the first place. An opening with the Jennies just hits different. It's a hook, a vibe. And if an opening has that special something, then those opening seconds can do a better job selling you on a show than any plot synopsis ever could. Cool fight animation is cool, but you can only watch a big anime punch so many times before your brain starts to gloss over it. There's no expiration date on an opening that makes you feel some kind of way. Now, even with these qualifiers in place, comparing different openings objectively is often impossible. Different genres are trying to accomplish different things. The job of a rom-com is to sell you on its romantic leads, while the job of an early 2000s edgy anime is to sell you on the vibes and make you go, what the hell is this, when you see it one night on Adult Swim because you stayed up too late, and then it changes the trajectory of your life forever. And the job of every other anime opening is to show you that there are boobs in it. It's apples and oranges. Apples and melons. For instance, the vibes of the Monster opening are immaculate, and it even uses the Legend of Zelda font. But does it have boobs? Big dragon bobbos? How could it compare to Dragon Maid S? This guy doesn't have any boobs, so I guess that means this is the worst opening ever.
Good luck.
Your breast reduction was a success.
Where's Tenma?
Who do you think took your boobs? No.
Okay. This is definitely more funny if you watched Monster, and a lot more confusing if you watched frickin' Dragon Maid, because those aren't actually boobs.
I am kidding. Instead of pretending that we could objectively rank each opening one after the other on a linear scale from 1 to 100, we decided to do something a little different. We did make a traditional list of 100-odd openings, but then we split that list into 5 different strata, with each 20 openings in their own group. It's hard to say Boobless Monster Man is objectively better than such and such opening that's nothing like it, but it's pretty easy to take the absolute value of each of the openings and say, hey, these 20 openings are all, like, within the same ballpark of quality. Let's put them in a little clubhouse together. They are friends.
You are my friend.
So if you think that opening 65 is better than opening 70, don't worry. Those guys are in the same clubhouse together. They hang out. You can move them around as you see fit. Some other rules for clarification. Multiple openings per series are allowed, so long as they all do something artistically distinct from one another. So, for instance, there could be 5 fairy tale openings on this list, but there aren't, because fairy tale openings are all bad. Except this one.
That would fall under bad music on my end.
That's the best lyric of all time. In fact, let's just adjust this real quick. There you go. If multiple openings in a series are good enough to make the list, but artistically they're all attempting the same thing, and one of them does it the best, that best opening will be the only one represented on the list. For instance, all of the Kaguya Love is War openings are pretty good, and in a vacuum, each of them might be strong enough to land a slot. But they all tell a roughly equivalent story with the same style of music and visuals.
Yes, because it's the same anime.
Overall, on our scale, the second opening
With
is
the same
strongest,
overarching story.
So that's the one that gets on the list, even though all of them are great. This way, we can free up more slots so that we can celebrate more openings than we would otherwise be able to. Similarly, there are some openings that work as part of a set so nicely, we actually have those openings occupy the same slot. The best example of this is Samurai Champloo and Michiko and Hachin, which are made by the same team, and are functionally the same opening twice in a different font. Choosing one over the other is a matter of personal taste. And
that definitely falls under bad music on my end.
so onto the same slot they go. If an opening has multiple versions, for whatever reason, we considered all the ones we could find and rated the one we thought was the best. Only openings from TV shows are allowed on the list. OVAs were considered, but only if they had more than one episode and the OVA has a unique opening. Otherwise, they are a movie, and movies do not count. If another person puts your name's intro into another anime OP's list, I am going to walk into the ocean. You
Agreed on that?
No, that's not what people mean when they say anime OPs. You are cheating. If I was making a list of all-time great live-action television openings and I put the opening credits of Goldfinger on it, you would think I was an idiot. English versions of openings were sometimes considered, but anytime an English version was considered, the original Japanese was also pitted directly against it. There's also at least one Donghua on this list, so those count too. Let's not be weird about it. Every opening is being considered with credits on screen, except the aforementioned English openings, as those do not usually have credits on screen. Lyrics, as a rule, were not considered in our ranking. This might seem kind of stupid, but hear me out. Sure, for popular openings, it's simple enough to find a translation of the song, but which translation do you use? Do you find a fan-made version that's interpreted the lyrics in a loose way that ties them better to the themes of the show? Or is that cheating, because they're taking creative liberties and those lyrics aren't technically official? Do you use a raw translation, or is that so clunky that it would make the song score lower than it deserves? Do you believe some guy's post on Reddit because he says his translation is correct? And how do you find accurate translations for the shows that nobody's ever even heard of? Because this lyric problem doesn't just apply for the top 100. If we're considering lyrics, we would have needed to consider them for every entry. All 2,000 or 3,000 of them. So, instead of triple checking every song with our imaginary bilingual friend who had also seen all 10,000 shows so they knew the lyrical context and could affirm whether or not lyrics added anything to the opening, we just decided to waive this aspect altogether. In the end, lyrics became a tiebreaker. If we were having trouble deciding between two slots, we would look at the lyrics of those two songs.
Okay.
Other than that, lyrics were ignored. This is, admittedly, a failing of our rating system, but one I don't think we'd be able to solve without actually paying a team of full-time translators to translate the openings and watch all of the shows.
Sure, if you
this
don't
choice
speak
bothers you,
Japanese,
we're
that's
sorry.
obviously gonna be a
Feel free to
problem.
donate $150,000 of rent to our Patreon. An opening being iconic does not give it any points. We ranked these openings on an even playing field, as if all of them were released yesterday. This list is celebrating an opening's artistry, not necessarily its cultural impact. In our eyes, Neon Genesis Evangelion is just as important as Hamtaro. And saying
Weirdly enough, I've never seen Neon Genesis. I've watched the dub of Hamtaro on the frickin' German channel that did anime back in the day.
that probably just made someone watching this throw up. Also, you think that you know which openings are iconic until you watch some 16-year-olds name that anime quiz and they list TTGL's theme as hard, making me feel like I'm 400 years old. The last and...
I mean, I also never watched Gurren Lagann.
possibly most important rule, the quality of the anime itself does not factor into how we rank the opening. Sometimes the best anime in the world has an opening that is dog shit.
Absolutely.
Sometimes an obscure piece of trash has an absolute bop of a song or a talented animation director.
Obscure piece of trash? I wouldn't call it that obscure, but apparently the anime is a piece of trash, so yeah.
And we just have to deal with that. This is our cross to bear. Me when I'm cosplaying at Nazareth. The point of this list
Ayo.
is to celebrate the craftsmanship of an anime's opening. We are only ranking the openings themselves. It does not matter if the show sucks. It
Which Dragon Ball GT definitely does.
does not matter if the opening hints towards an incredible story that isn't there in the episodes that follow. An opening's job is to pitch you a show and make you want to watch it. If an opening is good enough to trick you into watching garbage, then the opening is a con man.
Having that on having anything Jujutsu Kaisen on screen when talking about garbage is definitely like that's blasphemy.
But a well-made con man, it still gets points. An opening cannot lose points because the show it's attached to sucks. However, an opening can gain points by accurately representing its show and presenting its story and characters in an interesting way that makes you want to watch it. If you think that this is paradoxical and nitpicky,
It is.
then you can go and spend 10,000 hours making your own list. In fact, I want you to. I think the world would be better if everybody spent 10,000 hours looking at art and learning about why they like things. And that's all.
If anybody actually had 10,000 hours that available for just going through anime openings, that would totally freaking work. If nobody has that.
All of the rules. With all that out of the way, it is finally time to go over the top 100. Because we have been judging them on their visuals and flow, it only feels fair to try and edit these openings together in interesting ways. So I spent a lot of time doing that. I hope you enjoy it. I also hope that YouTube copyright claims don't knock down half of the list the second I upload it. even though I personally am putting no ads on this video and it is for educational purposes. Let's make a game of it. Leave a comment below guessing how many songs out of 100 will be muted by the time you watch it. My guess is all 100. We have...
Yeah, I mean... We're just gonna watch it as is on YouTube. I'm not gonna switch to the Patreon version right now. I mean, I'd probably have to mute some of the songs myself if I was going to, since some songs definitely have a frickin' habit of getting the frickin' video blocked.
Have done our best to keep this list objective, not letting favoritism cloud our judgment or alter our final ranking. And I believe for 99 slots, we have done a commendable job of that. So, for slot 100, if you would, please, allow us this one exception.
Really?
Here begins the top 100 best anime openings of all time. The most Jibun wo openings, if you will. And with that said, there really is, truly, only one way to begin.
Jibun wo. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Code Geass is fine being on the list. The opening is good. Like, Flow are a great band. I've never heard of Noir. That... Okay. Ah! Captain Sakura. Dake no yume wa kaki atsume. How is this so low? How the hell is this so low? Yuku no sa. One Piece. JoJo? Dang, that's just some animation there. Definitely makes me want to watch the show. That was definitely a prime example of dreaded song credit. English version. Yeah, I haven't seen any of Fruits Basket, so... Odd Taxi on my end definitely falls under bad music. That would... Great incorporation of the credits though. Great Pretender. Yep. Really? Dragon Maid? River, yes. Like, I haven't watched Vinland Saga, but this is a fucking amazing opening. That one actually is one of the ones that I never associate with the freaking name because I always forget that show exists on the freaking opening quizzes, so... Turning sideways. Definitely has boob stuff. Haven't seen Yoga. That is what. Interesting that this would get blocked. I mean, I guess I do have to also blur a lot of the freaking. That this is an interesting way of doing the blurring, though. Interesting editing. But yeah, I do also sometimes need to blur stuff on full reactions to openings because it would otherwise get blocked. Because for some reason YouTube's algorithm thinks it is the full episode or something like that. Yeah. I've never heard that part of the opening because the only time I've ever heard this was on opening quizzes and they only play one specific part. I fucking love some of the old Pokemon openings. This is definitely nostalgia factor, but they did a fucking amazing job on the international openings. German versions included, since they're the same but with German lyrics. The artists doing those did a great job. Yeah, this is one of the ones that I was talking about with stupid ass just character running from right to left on in the same spot. Hirogaru yami no naka kawashi atakaku me no chigiri dare ni mo jama saseru wake ni wa ikanai itara. I like that there's stuff from my top list in here as well. GTO I haven't seen, but yeah, that exists. Miyashiki I also haven't seen, but damn the freaking animation of that. Really? Dragon Maid S is on here as well. Na. Nani kore?
Cause you know that this one is a problem, cause it just cannot be uploaded. If I include it, then the vid's blocked worldwide. If you
Aha. Okay, good. This song isn't in here. Good.
wanna hear it, you can click the link to Patreon and watch the whole thing normally.
No. But interesting that they'd actually frickin' re-added the video instead of just using YouTube's mute feature. Not a lot of creators do that. Interesting part of the frickin' Beastars opening to include. Place for it in the universe. Yeah, the opening definitely makes it look a lot more interesting than the show itself actually ends up being. Tatami Galaxy. Man. Still, ironic that I have not watched Deadman Wonderland ever. Oh, Marina Seraph?
Smile, sweet.
Ah, oh yeah, Bland S. Yeah, I know that opening, so for that one, actually, you don't need. I don't need to watch the other one, the Patreon upload, to even know what this is. That's yeah. For me, Bland S is still like freaking. Is the order rabbit ordered on Wish? But yeah.
Sister, sadistic, surprise, service. We are this one's blocked worldwide, so I can't put the music.
But you can see it on Patreon anyway. Here's an opening that wasn't a fucking problem.
Interesting, by the way, that it blocks the music but not the visuals. Because for me, it's usually the other way around. Serial Experiments Lane! Okay, what's with the stuck frickin' cap thing? Is that Boruto? That's like a definitive one for the idea of the show being bad not mattering to them. Ana. See, that one definitely one of the list where I had like it took me like a fucking eternity to recognize the song. Never heard of the show. Oh my god. So they did the whole thing where they robbed the English viewers of the original Japanese opening in every Digimon series I see. Because, oh my god. Digimon has some fucking amazing openings. The German dub, for some reason, just took the Japanese openings and made German lyrics for them, which means we had the full Japanese freaking music, which is fucking amazing. And then there's the English versions. I mean, this is probably the best one out of them. I'd assume, because this kind of sounds at least decent, but whatever they did with the first one, you can fucking dump into a fucking landfill. Meh. Kageki Shoujo, never heard of it. More Full Metal Alchemist? Erased! Also, I haven't seen the show, but the opening is great. Never heard of that one, but that sounds amazing. Okay, now I want to watch that. What the hell? Never heard of this either. Is that one of the ones where it's frickin' like bad on purpose, because literally everything they were saying about bad openings applies here. We've got JPEGs, we've got freaking bad music. We've got, okay, yeah, that's Evangelion. That never mind. The only Bleach opening I'd fucking recognize in the quiz. But Bleach is coming up in one of the like weeks after the seasonals are done on the freaking first impression and opening and ending reaction. So that's soon. Psychopaths. Yoharate, yami yoharate. I don't know anymore where exactly Kaikai Kitan is on my freaking list, but that's definitely on there. Some 100. Vinland Saga again. Maybe I'm crazy enough. Jäger. I'm a special. I'm a special. Ah, nice. Everybody, put your hands up, stop flying. I haven't even seen that parade. It's just, it shows up so much in the opening quizzes that I know the lyrics by now. I chicky chicky ban ban. I see the fever tonight. Chan chan. I chicky chicky ban ban. Ah, oh, Idol. 40th place. Dang. Kuroko in the basket I haven't seen. But the frickin' opening sounds like literally any other sports show. Like, I literally confuse this with frickin' Haikyuu's openings all the time on the opening quizzes on the main channel. Princess Tutu. Sure haven't heard of it. Way to include classical music, though. Soul Eater. Which I also haven't seen. But the music is great. Dang, only the intro? Yeah. That's one that I never understood why it's so popular. Boruto again! Dude, Boruto has 10 openings? How many episodes does Boruto have? That's musically so fucking horrible, I couldn't put that on any top list. Unless it's a top list of anime openings with the worst music. Nanda kore. Io kagami no kaichata to the best, oh yeah. Oh, the thanks to the H-Band way. Now singing brim bam bam brim bam bam brim bam bam bam. Monsters opening, like if it wasn't like so incredibly fitting for the theme of the show, I'd find that to be a horrible opening because the music is fucking ass, but in this case, the ass music fits how absolutely fucked up the show is. That's such generic 80s pop. Or, like, what the hell is this song? Never heard of this. Eh? Daddy daddy do hoshii no sa anata no subete ga kira kira te shinoitai papara papara. Bakado. Honestly, I really like the artistic style of this one. You can watch the reaction to this opening on the channel if you want to have a more info about that. But this is great. Link click. That's, by the way, also coming up soonish. Welcome to the NHK. Literally up until now, the only place I've ever heard of Welcome to the NHK was on the like hard parts of frickin' opening quizzes. Kokoku? That's one of the ones where I forgot that the show exists, and I just recognized that I've heard the opening before on the opening quizzes, but yeah. Wouldn't go that far up for me. That's the first opening for Bleach, right? Yes, again. Yeah, never heard of this. Dang, how many openings for how many shows has Kanabun done? I've never heard of The Perfect Insider, by the way. It's the first time I'm seeing any of this. Great stylistic choice, though. XM? Damn, there's a bunch of obscure shows on this, huh? The frickin' music is repetitive AF. Yeah, you're gonna make me run away if you keep on playing that. Jojo! Konochi no Sarame. Meh. Pochi. Yofukashi no Uta. Also, I haven't seen that, but the opening is great. Ayo, ayo. Yeah, ayo, ayo. Dang! In America. Yeah. The only place I've heard this before as well is on anime opening quizzes. Heavenly Delusion! That might actually be on the list somewhere. I feel like I've heard this before. Like the title. Never heard the opening. More JoJo. Cowboy Bebop.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
青が澄んでいる今でも青は澄んでいるWhat was that, Lupin? Yeah. Chino Sadame Jojo. I somehow mistook the other one for that one. One Piece? You know, if this wasn't as all over the place on the animation and the song wasn't somehow lacking, I don't know where, this would also have been on my list, but this way it isn't. Link Click opening too? Is that the one with the backward? Yeah. Oh, look, mirai, beautiful star. Don't look, mirai, beautiful star. Look, mirai, a beautiful star. Look, mirai, a beautiful star. I can live with that being up there. I haven't seen the show though. Okay, I'm really looking forward to see what their number one is. Mob! Yes, okay. That's a really good one though, yeah. Yeah, all of the Mob Psycho openings did the same frickin' thing, so I'm not gonna be mad if they put all of them up here. Yep. 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 They are all three on my list as well, so I'm absolutely fine with this. That also explains why the fucking 100 was Mob Psycho style all the way through. One and only one. Well, let's go ahead and say check out the original channel for this in the description down below. Link to this video. They're freaking amazing. Who is this? Jello Apocalypse. Let's rectify two things here. And I will see you in the next reaction. Suggest any anime that you want to see on the first impression and opening and ending reactions in the comments. Suggest any other YouTube videos that you want to see, like any kind of anime related ones or like music related ones if you want in general, because like we're doing music reactions as well 3 days a week. So anything you want to see really. Either way, I'll see you in the next one. Till then, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. My name is WWDadman. Bye.